All right, Kenman here, and today we die the CJRB Gobi. Oh, let's go! Yeah. Yes, it's it. It's time. The CJRB Gobi is getting some color. Let's do it. Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I purchase everything at retail price, and I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. All right, it's teardown time. Let's get our last looks. See how the action is, how it feels. Blade's nice and centered currently. Clip is on the right side, but I'm a lefty, so it's going to end up swapping. We'll get a good glamour shot. Boom. Right, that is it. That is the knife. It's never going to look like this again. Let's not waste time. If you watched these before, you know they end up being long. So let's see if we can try to make this one a little bit quicker. We've got T8s for the pivot. Let's see if I can, if one of them might be captive with a little D in there, or they both spin. That one feels like it's captive. Certainly can be possible. I'm going to take that one most of the way out. Before I finish taking it out, I'm going to take these little, oh wait, I've got those with T6s. My bad. I can't find my other drivers, so we're doubling up like this. It's fine. So there is a back spacer on this knife, which will make it fairly easy. Plus it's going to make the color that we dye, it's going to be like an accent to that color. So this is going to be kind of a two-tone knife, which is going to be neat. I'm excited. We've been talking about it and what the capabilities are going to be. Am I getting a spin? Of course. How can that be? Because if they're both on that spacer, it should. There we go. Felt weird. Felt like it was kind of just spinning free. Sometimes the threads felt a little pressure on them. Especially with T6s, you got to be careful. They can get... Alright. I'll take the pocket clip off quick. Basically, we're getting everything loose. And then we'll have a good, easy tear down that should be easy to then put back together. Okay, so I'm going to switch back real quick. I should have my other driver that holds, sorry, open the camera. That holds that would be a little bit faster. So there's the scale from that side. Now these, this should just slide out. I don't see a D on their little spot either. Interesting. Okay, there is that, and we're dropping like flies now. It's okay. This one's a fairly easy design. It just has that one pin for the blade stop. So now we just need to get these to come out. They were loose, but because there wasn't pressure against them, so I'm kind of pushing against the scale with the spacer piece. Putting that pressure on it should release me. I've never had so many. Oh, I see what's happening. Alright, we can slide that off, and then I can unscrew these from these. That's going to be a pain in the butt, huh? Maybe. That's something that we're going to have to probably, let's see, if you put the other one on the other side, this is the first one I've ever had an issue with. I don't want to pinch that really hard with like a pliers and then bend it. Shit. All right. Having the first technical difficulties just in the teardown. This is a new experience. What I'm going to do... Man, why doesn't that even thread back in there? I just threw that screw into my water bath up there. Why is it? And I try to be efficient here, and these things end up turning into psycho experiences that don't work. All right, let me get that. So, yeah, I don't know if that's giving me any more to hold on to. Not really, because it's just sliding right back out. And I need to get pressure against those so that they don't free spin. It's like, do you have to put this back on? Oh, I tell ya. So, one of the reasons that my dye is really boiling. Stir this up off camera. Sorry, I was looking at my dye, was not happy, and then I turned off my flame. Okay, we're back. But yeah, I try to do things live because you can see every little aspect of what happens, and now you're seeing one of the things. All right, so I'm going to dip my hand in this water and I'm going to dry it off. I got that screw flew over there. We're at 7 minutes and I can't even get it apart. Everyone's going to skip ahead later in the video probably because you can see, oh, the knife's just sitting there, nothing's changing. Another folly on the scale die project. Wow, that die is hot over there. I've got it on low. I'm going to turn it off and bump the camera. Okay, so these are tight. And now I need to go get another T6 to counter that one, so I can get that to spin. All right, yeah. There, stare at that for a moment. Makes it a little bit better. I'll be right back. You can hear me all the way over here. See if I can find something. All right, rolling back. So I have this little T6 for that side, and then we're going to try to twist out just this side. All right, did that. Sort of gave me nothing. Sorry, folks. Sorry, folks. All right. Well, my attempt to make a short video with a die is failing miserably. And I can't even seem to hold that without spinning it off. Now, what in the heck? Are we going somewhere, kids? I don't want to squeeze that this too tight, I mean, it's probably pretty sturdy, and the chances of me bending it might be slim. But, wow, we are at 10 minutes, Kenman, and I'm not even You guys get to learn how well my ability to relax. And man, that thing is just a pain. Well, everybody see what's happening? We're close. We're close. We got one more. And if you are still tuning in, I appreciate you. With my camera bumping and my volleying with my tools and my inability to take a screw out of a little thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You have made it to the next level. Woo, 11 minutes. I apologize. All right, my facade has already disappeared. So we have everything here for reassembly, and I'm going to move it out of our world and put it over here for safekeeping. All right, we're going to shimmy over here to the die. I'm going to turn the die back on really low because it's nice and hot. If you've watched videos before, you know you want to wipe off the scales as best you can. If there's any dirt on there, the die will not stick on that spot as well. And then when you take it out and then you clean it off, you clean the dirt off, and then that spot no longer matches the rest. So these look pretty good. I made these little hooks out of just some wire I grabbed out of my shop. Very simple, basic, just so I can get them in and out of that dip easier since it is hot. So we are at 12:12, and I'm going to go in. One of the main things is you do not want air bubbles, so I'm going to splash them around for a bit. Wow, look at that. What color are we doing? Splashing them around for a bit to try to remove any air bubbles so that there's a uniform dye happening. That dye basically won't sit on inside an air bubble, obviously. And so what we want to do is get them sitting in there nice and flat. And all right, I am all over the place. There is the bottom. There it goes. And we're going to set that one down and get this one turned around quick. There it goes. These wires do bend easy because they're thin. All right, so we're in with both. Doesn't look like any bubbles are on either of them. So we are good. We are down. It is 13. It's been almost 3/4 of a minute to a minute that they've been in there already, just from splashing around. You can see they're definitely darker already, but what happens is the dye drips off. You can see where it's dripping off. It's a lot lighter. So what we want to do is just get them in there and make sure it's nice and uniform. It looks like we've got some excess right there. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that quick. All right. Permanent purple on my fingers, of course, and now I want to touch other knives and be all dirty. It's a great method. You're doing fantastic, Kenman. What's everyone think of the dye process so far? We've been having some fun. Each one has got some different challenges, as we have just seen and witnessed. This one's given us the challenge that I could not get it taken apart. So yeah, that's still over there. No movie magic happening, I promise you. It's just going to be heating and sitting there. And now we're over here. We can talk about this for a minute or two. I'm probably going to let that sit for 2 or 3 minutes at least. All right, check my hands. It looks like it's turned a little purple. But other than that, it's good. These are the jade ones that we have not dyed yet. These are the ones we have completely finished. We'll go ahead and go through a few of these quick. This is the Civivi Vision FG. It used to be white. We made it red. It's got the super lock on it. It works way better than it did beforehand. I needed to loosen mine when I got it. It just was a little tight, and I was having some fails on the thumb stud, which are not happening anymore. I love this knife. I love it even more in red than in white, and I'm glad that I did it. This is the Sencut Brazoria. I just did it just the most recent one. It's got this interesting orange to it. I kind of like it. It's got this neat style, and I just like this up here where it's just got that ambery, kind of glowy, kind of orange. Maybe some will say it's ugly. I like it. It's great. The Feldspar, I carry this again today. This is a great knife. I'm really loving it. I love the handle. I love how it turned out with that kind of wood grainy kind of look. It's just a good feel in my hand, and for a budget knife, this is a great carry. I'm quite happy with it. This is the Gobi Titus. Awesome knife. I love a beefy knife. This was 2 minutes in the red. That's 1 minute in the red. You can see it's a little more fire engine-y red or more brighter red. This is a little more dull. Plus, it does have the black liners, which will make it look a little bit darker. But this thing is just a beef. I love the way it feels, that jimp and that little uprise. Oh, great knife. Little Ferrum Forge Gent 2.0, a little small for my hand, but looks cool. Not set up for the lefty, kind of bugs me a little bit, but it is a little neat knife, and I did see it, and I wanted to get it for the die process or project or both, whatever. This little Civivi Ferrum Forge Combo Odium. It's a really neat knife. I love the way the scale doesn't quite go to the edge of the frame, so it gives it that outer edge of the metal. Looks cool. Neat knife. Let's go back over here, take a look at what we've got. All right. Oh boy, oh boy. Purple. So, see as it drips off a little bit, it gets a little lighter. See as it's dripping off there? It's not on camera so well. So maybe you want to leave it in a little bit longer. I think it's getting dark, but we're gonna go a little bit more. So we are now at 17 minutes. It's been in there for almost 5 minutes. The heat of the die is gonna make it react faster. Does not need to be boiling, but you could also do it cold. It would just take a lot longer of a time. Oh, I forgot. This chef's knife. Chop, 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 chop. No, 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 no. The flickable chef's knife. Zhang Shang. Awesome knife. This is super fun. This one I also made purple, but this is my Orchid. It's a much lighter purple. The purple we've got in now is a regular purple, so it's going to be a lot darker. I got that one on Blade HQ if you're interested. I remember last time I kind of said that too, and it's funny because I said they make great stuff, and it's like Blade HQ. They don't really make stuff. They sell stuff, but whatever. You get into the video, you start talking, and boom, you know, here we are. Having a good time. I'm turning the temp down on the heat. It's kind of bubbling up a little bit over here. Just going to cool it off, not too hot. We have the Civivi I keep doing this. This is the Civivi Mini Asticus with the Damascus. Super cool looking Damascus pattern. What color would you like to see this one? We have the Sencut Crowley with the button lock. A really cool button lock. I like this knife a lot. I just did a button lock video and I had it set aside in this pile, and I basically forgot to add it to my button locks, and so I didn't talk about it, but yeah, whatever. This is the Gobi Royal. Something about this knife, I dig it. It's got a neat shape. It flicks out real nice. What color you want to see this one? It's going to have some cool little edges that kind of stick out. All the colors are going to stick out more, kind of like this wood grain does. Or the pattern, like on this one, you can see those lines pop a lot more, and the texture, you can just see that texture really good. We got the Gobi Thalia. Oh geez, really cool. This knife fits in my hand really nice. Oh, I scratched myself at work. That just looks terrible. I did not cut myself. That was digging in something at work and caught the back of my hand on something rough and whatever. The Stali has got a cool front flipper too. Huge handle, but man, the way it feels in your hand, it feels like it just is where it needs to be when you're making a cut. And I just got this super budget, what is this thing again? Sativia ST801, but for less than $20. I can't believe how smooth this thing is. I don't know if I'd ever carry it. I just wanted to get something that was cheap, see what the Budget World offers, but it's really stable. It's a pretty solid knife for what you're getting for that 18 bucks. But I compared it to like going out and getting a meal or something is about the same price. So, I mean, better than a box cutter, I'll tell you that much. But depending on what you want to do, I definitely would not probably carry something like that around on a regular basis. I like a little bit higher step up personally, you know, like this CJRB, like I said, this feldspar. I mean, this one's also fairly cheap too. I mean, I think it's less than 40 bucks, something like that. But man, it's a great knife. All right, shimmy back over. We are bubbling along here in the purple. Let's give them a sploosh. Take a look at that. Ooh, huh? We might be getting close. It's kind of dark. Should we give it a rinse? When I give it a rinse, it kind of neutralizes the dye, and you can kind of see what color we're at. Like I said, because it's got dye on it, it's going to rinse off a little bit, and it's going to get a little lighter. But I'm going to go ahead and move the knives out of our world. What are we looking at? 21 minutes, of course. And I'm going to bring in the water bath over here, and we're going to just go straight into this, start rinsing. And boom. Get the hooks off. Get the hooks out of the way. Keep my arm out of the way so you can see what's going on. Now, when the dye is in the water is now removing the dye and kind of neutralizing it from continuing. If there's spots or splotches or thick chunks on there, they can continue to dye and then alter the uniform look that I'm going for. And so right now, by rinsing it off good, just removing all the dye, it's going to stop the process and leave us with this completed, ooh, this looks, wow. All right, I'm excited. Who else is excited? If you've been holding on for 22 minutes, I really appreciate you. You are my true heroes, and I hope you're enjoying the content. I apologize it took so long to get this one apart today. I've found that we've been faced with different issues every single time. I'm going to turn my heat off here. Yeah, okay, so now we want to get these dry so we can put it back together. I am going to shimmy that up there quick, grabbing myself a towel, and out they come. Ooh, look at these. This has a contour line on it that's starting to stick out just like that the feldspar does, so that's kind of neat. I'm excited to see how that looks. Leave comments below what you think about the process. I actually was thinking about something. Is that dye? Yeah, it is. Get dye on stuff and it's there forever. But yeah, I was thinking about the process. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked on my own video. But what would everybody think if I were to make it like two parts? Like, what if I did one where I take the knife and just take it apart? We talk about taking apart the parts of the knife, you know, and how the workings of it are, and maybe talk about some of the dyes that we've already done, and then have the video end. And then part two would pick up with the scales ready to go and everything ready, and I just dip them, and then we can talk while they're being dipped. And then we can put it back together in that video. And then it would end up being like those two parts and could make shorter videos, but there would be more. And then you'd have to end up tuning into more than one at the same time. So I don't know if that's something that anyone is interested in, or if they're just cool with the way we're doing it now, where it's getting to be long. And if I have issues, which it seems like when you're doing something like this, you just tend to have issues. But yeah, I would love feedback to help improve the videos and make it more entertaining or make it more fun to watch. Maybe what I should do, I'm thinking out loud here as we go. I'm just trying to dry every single little spot. Make sure that these are really good and dry. You don't want any extra moisture in there that could cause corrosion or something like that after the fact. But what about, maybe what I should be doing is research, and research on my own would be, all right, take the Gobi apart on my own, off camera, or maybe I could make a video about that too. But like take the Gobi apart and put it back together. And now I have learned the problems, the issues, the situations. That little spacer likes to stick. And then I've saved all that time by learning what it is I need to do when I take it apart. Same thing would have gone for like the vision. I would have known that that piece didn't go flying away and it was good to go. And so maybe I need to just be doing some more research before I start, so I'm completely aware of every little situation that comes up, so then when I do tear it down and do actually execute it all in one step, I've kind of caught those situations beforehand. I don't know, what's everyone think? What would they like to see in the future? So I'm going to keep trying, see what we can do to improve. Wow, look at this purple, huh? Definitely not the same. Maybe it could be a little darker, but I think once we get it put together, it's going to be sweet. I'm pretty happy about it. Okay, these look like they are dry. I tried to make sure to get into all those little creases on the edges, all the way around that seam where a little moisture could just sit and potentially be. And they look good. See that line? It's the contour line, how it's kind of popping out a little bit more now. And now that the video is already at 26 minutes, I might as well just take my time and make sure it's good. Do it right the first time, Kenman, you know. I always kind of live by that. I like the way this liner is going to sit in there real tight. But yeah, do it right the first time. You don't have to worry about it later. You kind of try to cut corners and you end up having that issue that comes up later that you could have avoided had you just done it right the first time. Okay. I've spoken enough. I'm going to grab our little kicking the stove, bumping the camera all over the place today. I appreciate you for sticking around. Let's get this thing back together. You probably want to see it as much as I do at this point. All right. What do we want to try to do first? So this is going to go in here. These screws are all the same size. And there's one that I've got inside there right now. Okay, so I am gonna try to attach the space. Let's see. I might as well do both of them. That and that. Right there, like that. Actually, we'll do this. Try to screw that one on there. Alright. Screw this one on here. But I do need to take that other screw off the other side. Maybe I should just do that first. Okay. It's easy enough. Alright, I appreciate your patience and sticking it out with me here. These are the same on both sides. Yes, they are. Just noticing that the spacer could potentially have had a slightly thicker lip on one side, and God, I've hit the camera a bunch today. Alright. Back together is easier than apart. And that's going to slide on there. We are doing stuff, folks. There's the stop pin right there. Now, what side did I start? Anybody remember? So do we have the pivot going through? Oh, there is a D, and it's on that side. See, there it is. See, that's what we needed. I didn't notice that. It's on the metal. That the pivot fits in there. It is a D right there. That's good. That makes it easy to fall out. But yeah, you can see in the bottom of it right there, it's got the flat spot, which keeps it from spinning. And anyone who doesn't have that on their pivot is just not doing it right. It makes sense to have that there, so you don't have to use two to get, all right, so you don't have to use two drivers, one on each side, to make the thing work. Maybe if we do it out. Yeah. All right. Everybody see what we're doing here? Now we've got the other water bearing. So we are really close. Does everyone feel it? I feel it. We're going to do it. It's at 31 minutes. All right. I'm not tightening everything down here. I've got the pivot. I'm just going to give it a few turns so that it's holding together. And then I am going to get in here with these. Get them going. Ooh, again with the camera bumps. I've been really aggressively attacking the camera today. I've got issues because I don't want to make 35-minute videos, yet I seem to be good at it. And I'm good at bumping everything today. Some days, this is life live, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see some life action? Charge your phone or tap here. Great. Phone just gave me an alert. Ugh, stop. Okay, so the issue when you put it back together is putting the blade in the center. So you have to tighten it. I usually tighten the pivot first. Hopefully our camera doesn't die on us. And then I tighten all the body screws. And then that way it tends to be a little easier to make sure that the blade is centered. But I found that even, like everyone knows, even if you don't have it centered right, that's too tight. Oh wait, it's this one. Even if you don't have it centered right, you can loosen things up and adjust it and make it correct. So even if you don't get that blade perfectly centered, looks like we're good. Looks like it opens. All right, I'm a lefty, so we're going on this side with the pocket clip. Oh my goodness. And hopefully my battery does not die on me here. It's saying it's low, but we are almost there. Don't want to have to edit that out later just by missing the last minute of video because the battery died. I don't know why my... All right, you do one, then the other, back. Okay, we are here. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, 35 minutes. What do we think? Here are the glamour shots. Boom, boom. The new show side for the lefty. All right, looks like the blade is centered. She opens. What's everyone think? I appreciate you for sticking in this long. Oh, look at the accents. Boom. Purple, that orange looks great. I should have looked it up beforehand. One of my viewers, one of you guys, the subscribers, recommended to do this color scheme. I appreciate you. I'll try to figure out who it was. Leave the name in the comments or something like that. But yeah, this turned out great. I'm really happy with the Gobi. What's everyone think? Seems to work really good. So we got her back together. I apologize it took so long. Thank you for sticking it out. Ooh, what does everyone think of this new look? All right, that's going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. It helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp, and we will see you next time. Another dive video coming soon. Boosh, boosh, boosh. Ta-da! Have a great night.